Two head coaches got fired today, Brent Pry and DeShawn Foster. So already we've got coaching searches ramping up at Virginia Tech and UCLA. I wanted to talk about Pry first. He was 16-24 entering his fourth season. He was 3-8, 7-6, 7-6. They started 0-3. It really felt weird. It felt like a doomed season to start out because they got gutted by the portal. They lost some coaches. And ironically, his first and last game at Virginia Tech, he lost to Old Dominion. They trailed 31-0 yesterday to Old Dominion. So it was done. They won double-digit games every year from 2004 to 2011 under Frank Beamer. Now, I saw some people speculating about how good this job is. And that's a question best left for agents. I don't think too terribly highly of it. I think incredibly highly of the history of the program. What you worry about is what if Frank Beamer was really good and otherwise this isn't a good job? That's like a concern that I would have if I were a Virginia Tech fan. Now, I'm a college football fan. I love Virginia Tech, love Lane Stadium, love the tradition there. So, I mean, I very, very much miss this being a national title player. Yes, kids, Virginia Tech once upon a time was a national championship player. And I hope they can be again, but I was looking, Nakos and Andy Staples and Chris Lowe, they sort of collaborated on an article over on on3.com today about some of the potential replacements. Now, I got to be honest with you. Alex Golish's name was on that list. There's not a prayer. I'm leaving USF for Virginia Tech if I'm Golish. I can do better than that. I'm just being honest with you. I can do better than that. Buster Faulkner at Georgia Tech is going to have his name thrown out there some. Look, I'd recommend to all these guys, if your stock is that high right now, you need to understand that it's not going to fade and you will have better opportunities. Like there will be other jobs come open. Will Stein at Oregon, same thing. Same thing. Like everyone knows those guys are going to get jobs. But you gotta have the right deck of cards, especially if you got a name that's a hot commodity, before you're gonna go grab the first one. No, don't necessarily do that. The portal's open. You know. That's the way these things work these days. The portal opens the moment your coach gets fired. Now, normally it's the end of the season, but that's not the case here. Nor is that the case for UCLA with Deshawn Foster. So the portal's open for the next 30 days starting tomorrow. That means those guys can leave tomorrow. And since they haven't played 4 games this year yet, every one of them that is eligible to have a redshirt year can count this year as a redshirt year. So if I've played 2 games or 3 games as a starting defensive tackle at Virginia Tech, I could transfer to Auburn tomorrow. I can't play this year, but what I can do is take a redshirt year, and so this year never even happened, and I'm there. And I'm not at Virginia Tech, by the way, so they're still trying to field a team. UCLA's still trying to field a team. By the way, speaking of UCLA, is Nico Iamaleava staying out there? Don't know. Haven't talked to him. Have no idea. Deshawn Foster also got fired today by UCLA. That's what happens when you pay New Mexico $1.2 million to come in your building and they beat you 35-10. Hey, really quick timeout. We'll get right back to the video. Do me one favor. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps us keep the show free. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us keep doing college football year-round, and we appreciate it. All right, back to the video. I don't really blame Deshawn Foster because he never should have had the job. I would have taken the UCLA job if they offered it to me. It's not his fault. Like, he didn't offer himself the job. A completely inept athletic director offered him the job. And I don't think that athletic director will be afforded the opportunity to offer anyone else the job because knowing some of the internals around UCLA like I do now that I've spoken to some people out there, I think there's probably a healthy amount of churn just above and beyond the head coaching position that's coming. But it's very, very interesting because that is a very what was the word Stuart Mandel I saw used earlier today? Very apathetic fan base at best sometimes. It is by far the second most important program in its own city. It's got a stadium that is 45 minutes to an hour away from campus. And the NIL situation is such that they're way more organized for basketball than they are for football. But hey, You get to play in the Big Ten. So glad that we broke the Pac-12 apart for this, by the way. Just fantastic job by all parties involved out there. Bravo, by all means. Let's fly guys to Rutgers for a conference game and Maryland for a conference game for a few extra dollars. Now, are we going to completely implode an entire conference for no good reason? And are we going to suck and hire poorly? Of course we are. We're UCLA. But we'll have that Big Ten sticker on our helmet. And that's what really counts. No one else in the Big Ten's complaining. You notice, like in the SEC, Vanderbilt's good. Mississippi State just beat the defending conference champ from the Big 12. Everyone's trying in the SEC. The bottom third of the Big Ten is a wasteland. And you think Ohio State's complaining about that? You think Michigan, you think Penn State and Oregon are complaining about that? They love it. They hope nothing changes. I mean, imagine Kirby Smart at Georgia being able to know that South Carolina was Maryland. Imagine him being able to know that Vanderbilt was actually UCLA. Imagine how great that would be. Hey, it's great to be Ryan Day. It's great to be Sharon Moore once he comes back from suspension. It's great to be Dan Lanning. They hope nothing changes. Add some more teams to the Big Ten, as long as they don't actually take winning seriously. So where are they going to go on this job? Because I don't know how attractive this job is. You've got to get your administrative affairs in order before you hire a head coach. I don't even know who's going to hire the head coach right now. And then, secondarily, soon to become primary, what kind of quality of job is this? You think about the guarantees. If I'm a hot commodity, the guarantees I'm going to need, NIL-wise, before I come out there are plenty, and I don't know that they exist right now. But if they do, let me give you some advice. Get someone from the South. Get someone from the South who is completely off his rocker, 25 hours a day invested in recruiting. There's a guy in Eugene, Oregon who lives that life, and I'm not saying there's another Dan Lanning around the corner. That's your blueprint. Find that kind of guy and get him out on the West Coast, and he's going to make some people uncomfortable, and he's going to wake some people up, and there may be some dead fruit on the tree that he's got to shake loose, and it's not going to be an overnight turnaround because you didn't drive it in the gutter overnight. But the UCLA job's open as well. Very interesting.